So we now have constructed our cylinder, and all I'm going to do is rub away my construction lines. Can't see across, so I can rub the cross away. Can't see the bottom of that rectangle or that rectangle. Now you can't see the back of the ellipse, so I can rub all of that area away and rub away so all of my construction lines have now been rubbed away, and I have that nicely drawn ellipse. Now what I want you to look at now is you can see where the light is coming from. It's light down one side and darker down the other, but there's that gradual blend of light tone to darker tone. And if you look inside, it's light at that side, but it's dark in there, and it's light at that side and darker there. So if we start with the inside first of all, I'm going to go vertical lines because the surface is vertical and it's very dark on the inside at that point, but then it gradually gets lighter as we move around to the other side. Because the light is coming in from that side, it's hitting the inside of the cylinder there, so we can see light and we can see light there, but it's dark in there. So I've added my tone there, and there is also a slightly darker tone for the shadow of the front edge. And then I use my rubber just to rub away the light tones. Again, I am not rubbing out mistakes, I am rubbing away tone, using my rubber almost as a white pencil. Now, the light is coming in from this side, so you can see it's lighter there, it's darker there. Now remember, when we were doing tones before, we did our tones, and I'm going to make it slightly easy. I'm going to divide this very lightly into areas like that, right? So that the furthest away area will have the darkest tone. And then the next area will be slightly lighter. Let's make that darker so we can go over that area a second time. And then it blends through, and then lighter again. And just allow that tone to disappear as it comes round to the light side. We can use our rubber just to rub away. Now the light is coming in from this side, so as we did before, we need to show the shadow that's being created, and the darkest part will be where the table meets the object. And we can maybe even add in a wee bit of shading in the background. And take away some of that edge. So we there have a nicely drawn cylinder where you can see a shadow in the background, a light surface and a gradual blend through to the darker areas, and on the inside this part here is in shadow, but it gets gradually lighter as it works itself round, and you can almost see the edge, front edge creating a shadow in there, so we can blend that shading in, make it a wee bit darker. Use a rubber to rub away. I'm going to put in a wee bit of shading behind. So that the light tone shows up against a darker tone in the background. And then we can gradually build up our shading. And gradually build up the blend. And that is how to draw a cylinder in 3 dimensions. So we are showing the top ellipse, the bottom ellipse, the vertical surfaces of the cylinder, and where the light hits it and blends through to the shadow, and where the light hits the far end of the inside of the cylinder, but not this end of the cylinder. So we're creating the shadow on the inside, the highlight on the inside, the highlight on the outside, the shadow on the far side, the shadow on the underside, and the nice curve of the bottom ellipse, which is exactly the same as the curve of the top of the ellipse, at the top of the ellipse. And one of the biggest problems, mistakes that people make, is they do not make the bottom ellipse the same as the top ellipse. So I would now like you to go and try and draw a cylinder in 3 dimensions with a tonal blend going from light to dark on the outside and a tonal blend going from dark to light on the inside. Thank you.